On this episode of Three Tool Players, we cast our votes for the starters of the American League All-Star team. Brian loses a bet because he's a homer. Dan puts his special gifts on display, and Spear looks forward to a clam bake down the shore. All this and more on this episode of Three Tool Players. Welcome to Three Tool Players. I'm Chris Spear, and alongside me, as always, are the Hammer brothers, Brian and Dan Hammer. Say hello to the internets, fellas.
Hello to the internets, fellas.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Well, he was really excited on that last one, man. I mean, he really got into it.
You know why I'm going to be excited, because who are we talking about right now? Who are we going to be talking about?
We are talking about the American League All-Stars. The ballots have been open for a little bit. Yeah. Oh boy, we're gonna have to trank him.
Your voice went up to like a different octave. It kind of reminded me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Christopher Lloyd.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I killed your brother, I took just like this.
So there's a few things that Daniel does well in this world. It's that voice and the Thriller dance. Those are really the two best things that Dan was put on this earth for. So Daniel,
and walk like an Egyptian too. Don't forget that.
That wasn't bad, but nothing beats your Thriller dance.
Yeah, it's true.
And this is well before 13 going on 30. Dan was 11 going on 46. And I'm going to tell you something. You listeners out there, just know that if you've ever been treated to Dan's Thriller dance, you know that you've seen heaven on earth. Good on you, Daniel.
Dan, before we get started, I want to ask you a question. What do you think the over-under is for our resident Yankee fan on number of Yankees he has on his ballot?
I'm going to have to say 4. And that's including with pitching, with outfielders, and DH. So I'm going to say 4 or under.
So let's go 3.5. Let's go 3.5.
Let's go 3.5.
3.5.
Let's 3.5 sounds like a good
set the
number.
line at 3.5, and we'll see where he ends up.
Well, wait a second. The over/under. So what are you guys taking?
Oh, I'm taking the over. I think you have at least 4. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Wow. Listen, I mean, that's not a bet anybody should take against that, right? I mean, you should probably bump the over/under up to probably about 6.5, right? If you want to make it fair. All right.
So if you want to get some action on the line, is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
Move the line.
Because the Yankees are that good. All right.
Oh, good Lord.
2025 coming right at you.
Here we go. Why don't we start with first base? Go ahead, Bri.
Wait. Why me? I mean,
hey, this is American League, man. You go first.
Well,
this is
are
your
you sure?
league.
Are you? Well, it is my league, but I would simply say that I mean I'm the home team here, right? So I mean, Dan, I'm happy to let you have a Paul Goldschmidt. What are you, stupid? Paul Goldschmidt is my choice. Get out of here with your knucklehead action.
Ding.
Here.
That's one.
That's one. Here, just notch it up. Here we go. Here, let's. Where's the ticker? All right, I'm gonna write this down.
So look, in all seriousness, there's several good people you could choose from. Goldie is a really good choice. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. could also garner a lot of the popular votes, although his statistics really aren't quite there. You also have a just demon out of Detroit in Torkelson. But I have to say, Paul Goldschmidt has found the fountain of youth, and he's my first baseman choice for the ballot.
That's one, Dan. What do you got?
Well, you know what's funny? I mean, all the names that Brian said afterwards, I didn't pick any of those. Those are good names. I agree with you. They're great names. But right now, the person I feel that is standing out is the guy from the Rays, Jonathan Aranda. Guy is batting .326, has an OPS of .922. Dude is just raking. The guy is one of the shining lights for the Rays right now.
I'm going with the aforementioned Torkelson, Spencer Torkelson.
Why not?
What do you usually want out of your first baseman? You want power numbers. Torkelson leads all first basemen in the American League in home runs, RBIs, and doubles. That'll get you an all-star nod. So my pick here is Spencer Torkelson.
I really think that's interesting too, because we've all chose 3 different folks for 3 different reasons altogether. What's interesting is if we were going popular vote, it would go Vladdy Guerrero Jr.'s way.
The only pushback I'll give you there is voters like to vote for the teams that are doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Torkelson might get his fair share of those votes because people look at the standings and go, oh, he plays for Detroit. Detroit's doing well. I'll vote for him.
Same thing with
See-
Goldie.
Yeah, but you're forgetting one thing, and that's the power of Nepo baby. Right?
Here we
You
go.
got Vladdy Guerrero Sr. somewhere. He says,
Stuff in the ballot box.
I know
Yeah.
how to stuff the ballot box, and this is the way you do it. My son, my boy, he's going to be a starter. You'll see.
The entire Dominican Republic is going to vote for Vlad Guerrero Jr. Is that what you're saying?
Viva Guerrero.
Second base. Who do you got?
Bugs Bunny.
Here
No.
we go again.
Oh.
You're gonna like this pick. You're gonna like it a lot because he's a Yankee alum, and that's Gleyber Torres. He's the scorned lover. He plays every day. Looks over to the Yankee Nation, says, "Look at me now. I'm still pretty. Aren't you sorry that you let me walk out of here in these high heels? I look good. Look at me play baseball." And he has. He absolutely has. Now, he might not have the power that some of his contemporaries have. He might not have the average, but this is a man who also has a wonderful glove at second base. And you have to give a little bit more credence to some of the middle infielders on their defensive prowess. I got to look over at Torres' glove, give him a little bit of a nod there. So as the Yankee brass here, I tip my cap to this gentleman, wish him well, and I hope that he gets the ballots and the weigh-in.
Hey, Bri, can I ask you a question? Did you love his glove in the postseason?
No, we're not talking about the postseason right now. We're talking about this year.
All right.
Dan, you think this one counts? He's a former Yankee. Does this
Nope.
count?
I feel like this is a half.
I feel like, yeah.
This has to be like a half
Yeah.
Nope.
because he has Yankee blood in him. But that's considered a half.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
All right, Dan, who you got?
Yeah, who you got?
Who you got, Dan?
Sticking with the Rays, and that's Brandon Lau. Same as Jonathan Aranda. He's a shining light on the Rays team right now. His batting average isn't there, but his power numbers are there. He has 12 home runs as second baseman and has 32 runs and 33 RBIs. So I feel that this guy, above all other second basemen in the American League, this guy gets the nod.
Yeah, I chose him too because those 12 home runs, 33 RBIs, they lead all second basemen in the American League. It's slim pickings.
It really is
for second baseman in the American League. So I chose Brendan Lau as well. Third base, I chose Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. Ramirez had a 21-game hitting streak in May on his way to a .330 batting average with 11 home runs and 29 RBI with a .932 OPS. It says here that those stats in his play gets him his 7th All-Star appearance.
Don't forget his stolen bases, man. This guy is fast too. I mean, you take a look at him. He has kind of like the build of like Kirby Puckett, but this guy can run.
I have to agree. This is one I think we're going to be unanimous on.
Yep.
Now, something to be said about Bregman. Had he not gotten hurt, he may have had a chance to go toe-to-toe with Ramirez here. But right now, he's the clear choice.
Shortstop, I'm curious here because there's a few choices.
There is a few choices, and I know that Brian's going to go with a Nepo baby. I'm going to have to go with the guy from the Athletics, Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson, I mean, you take a look at his batting average. He's batting .358 right now, and the dude doesn't strike out. He is contact. He is all contact, and it just kind of reminds me of my man Tony Gwynn. Dude doesn't strike out, does not strike out, doesn't like striking out.
No, I agree with you. I took him too, with all apologies to Bobby Witt Jr. He's second in the American League in batting average and hits, and he trails only Aaron Judge in both of those categories. His WPA, or win probability added, is third in the league behind Judge and Cal Raleigh. But like you said, what sets him apart is he doesn't strike out. He's leading the American League in at-bats per strikeout at 14.5. Get that in your head for a second.
It's sick.
That's crazy. He's a budding star. This is one of those times where it's like, does Major League Baseball want to showcase him in the Midsummer Classic? I think the answer is yes.
Unfortunately, I'm going to disagree.
Of course you are.
I'm going to go, of course I am, right? Not always. Sometimes we play nice in the sandbox, Daniel.
We did for third base. Jose Ramirez. It was a unanimous choice.
But that fun is over now. Good feelings.
That fun is now over, Dan. That's right.
No more fun.
No more fun of any kind.
Going home. Taking ball and going home. Got it.
And I'm simply going to say this, that you have way too much star power in Bobby Witt Jr. That's just, it's undeniable. He's going to get the popular vote. The fact that this guy is a runner-up MVP for 2024, it's got to be Bobby Witt Jr. here. I'm sorry.
Once again, for the people.
For the people.
Yeah, he's going with the popular vote.
Outfield, let's just get one right out of the way. Aaron Judge is very good at baseball.
Aaron Judge is very good at baseball.
Aaron Judge is very good at baseball.
Is very good at baseball.
Okay, so there's one that's locked in, right?
So let's write that
Next.
down. Here, hold on. I'm writing it down. Hold on. Outfield.
Next.
So here, Aaron Judge. So right now we were at 2.5.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Let's take a time out here for just a moment. You can't hold that against me. Okay.
We
Like,
will hold
we're going.
anything that we want against you.
Of course
You
we
went
can.
for-
We're the ones making up the rules. We'll hold whatever we want against you.
Your rules are flawed. You're setting the game for hilarity, and I get it. Fine. Ha 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 ha. But you're gonna sit there with a straight face and tell me that Aaron Judge isn't automatically on this. So what do you call it? That's like a handicap in golf, right? It's just like, all right, we got to give him this.
It still counts.
It still counts.
He's an anomaly. He shouldn't count. Just like Otani's a Martian. He does not count.
He counts. He counts. He counts. I'm sorry. All right. So that means there's 2 spots to fill. Brian, who else you got in the American League outfield?
I'm just gonna rip off this Band-Aid and help it along. It's gonna be Trent Grisham.
Here we go.
You can't.
I'm sorry. I just choked on my saliva.
As you should. All right. There's nothing wrong with choosing another Yankee that, quite frankly, deserves to be at the big game. He's a guy who has 13 home runs. His average is meh, but his OPS is still around 840. Quite frankly, he's exciting to watch and deserves to be there. Yes, called a breakout season, but he's going to start grabbing a lot of those votes out of those big markets. I thought about Buxton for a little bit, but he got hurt for a little while. I would have to go with Stephen Kwan, or you can go with Kerry Carpenter from Detroit.
Whoa, deep cut.
Wow.
Deep cut. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kerry Carpenter.
I'm stunned you picked Kerry Carpenter and not Riley Green.
Yes, and I was just about to give my 2. My first choice, and well, obviously all of our first choice was Aaron Judge. My second choice was Stephen Kwan. He is a Gold Glove. If you've ever seen him play the outfield, the dude plays outfield right. I love watching him play left field, but this guy rakes. He was a Gold Glove for the first 3 years, and he's continuing to do that. He was an all-star last year, and the guy is just a flat-out baller. And my third pick is Riley Green. Riley Green is batting .282, currently has 13 home runs with the Detroit Tigers with 32 runs and 42 RBI.
Which is good for a tie for 4th in the American League.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I have both Riley Green and Stephen Kwan.
Well, look at that. Hey,
Riley
look at that.
Green, yeah.
All 3 outfielders, you and me, are right on target.
Right in lockstep. I mean, Riley Green bats in the cleanup spot for Detroit, and he does what he's supposed to do. He has 42 RBIs. And he has 13 home runs, which is tied for 7th in the American League. He strikes out a lot, but the Tigers are the best team in baseball, and voters vote for these kinds of players, just like we said with Torkelson. So I like Riley Green, and I also like Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan is 3rd in the American League in hits, 4th in the league in doubles, and 2nd in batting average and on-base percentage, trailing only Judge. So it says here that he starts in the outfield for the 2nd straight year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's wonderful. Spear, Dan, you both mentioned that you're lockstep with all these picks in the outfield. So my question for you, Spear, is when Dan comes to pick you up on your dates on Friday nights, does he open the door for you? Is he a gentleman?
He's a gentleman.
Damn right.
Just
He's
checking.
a gentleman.
Okay.
Chivalry
Good job,
is
Dan.
not. Yeah, you damn right. Chivalry is not dead.
That's good, Dan. That's good manners by you. I'm glad we taught you well here in the Hammer household. And you're welcome.
That's a good job by you. That's a good job by you, Dan. DH was tough for me in the American League. I didn't know exactly where to go. I'm curious where you guys went.
It wasn't all that tough for me. I mean, there was just one person that I feel that stood out above all. Even though he had a couple run-ins with his front office, it still doesn't make him a bad guy. And that's Rafael Devers. Dude is batting 285.
Not a bad guy.
Not a bad guy.
Not a good guy either.
Not a good guy, but he's not a bad guy. So
what is he Wreck-It Ralph all of a sudden?
You're damn right.
Just because you're a bad guy does not make you a bad guy.
Exactly. You gotta listen to Zangief sometimes, you know? He has a lot of pearls of wisdom. All right. You take a look at his numbers. Dude's batting 285. He has 54 RBI for his team. I mean, like, the guy is raking. The Boston Red Sox asked him to do a job. Of course, like, he basically said, he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit down and have this Alex Bregman guy come in and take third base away from me. But then he was like, you know what? After a talk with, David Ortiz, telling him, hey, DH is going to be a good spot for you. He was like, all right, I'll do it. But then, of course, we saw what happened this last month with the Boston Brass asking him to play first base. And he's like, I'm not having any of this. I'm already raking as a DH, and he's doing a good job. I feel that he is the all-star nod for the American League at DH.
I'm going to go off the beaten trail here a little bit. I think it's time to make the call to Pickles Pub because I'm going to go with Ryan O'Hearn.
That is not a bad choice.
He leads all designated hitters in the American League in batting average and OPS. He also leads the Orioles in hits, batting average, slugging, and OPS. Voters might give him a nod here. If anything else, maybe it's a pity vote because the Orioles are so bad and because there's at least one guy's got to make it from the Orioles. But Ryan O'Hearn is not a bad DH. He's a good player on a bad Pickles Pub team. So I'm going to give him the nod.
So that's really nice of you. But here's the thing. The Pickles Pub is going to get represented either way, but not in the starting lineup. Devers, Dan, you made a really good choice there, statistically speaking. But let's look at the over-under here, fellas. And I'm looking at Benjamin Rice. And
we already beat it. And we didn't even need Gleyber Torres.
Oh, geez.
And I know there's one more to go. So
hold on. The deal. Writing it down. Hold on.
Benjamin.
Rice.
No, Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Benjamin Rice. Is for a variety of reasons. One is the fact that he's doing quite well. He's matched in homers with Devers right now with 12. He slugs a little better than Devers does. And his OPS not quite as high, but he also hasn't had as many at-bats as Devers. So you give him enough time, he might catch up and outpace Devers in this last 3 weeks leading into the All-Star ballots. So I like Benjamin Rice, as we like to call him here in the Bronx. And he's my choice for our DH.
So we're at 4 that we just beat 3.5.
Yeah,
we're at 4.
We have Goldie, we have Aaron Judge, we have Trent Grisham, and we have Benjamin Rice, and then we have a half in Gleyber Torres.
I'll tell you what, Brian. We're gonna drop Aaron Judge. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna do me a favor with that?
We're
you
gonna
might as well
drop
Torres too, because that doesn't count. Just
Fine,
like
we'll drop Judge.
Just like the fact that you were trying to blame me for all those PEDs that the Yankees did, right? When it was on your watch, not mine. Okay. So
I'm still going to win the bet. I'm still going to win the bet.
All right. So we're at 3 still, right?
We're at 3. We're still going to win the bet because I know what's coming.
Not 1, not 2, not 4, not 5. 3, sir.
So we're still going to win the bet, Dan. We're going to cash in, baby.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to be rolling in the Benjamins. See what I did there?
Yeah. I see what you did there, but you won't be. You won't be.
I'm going to take that money and bet it all on red.
No, you put it on black. Why? Because Wesley Snipes said so in Passenger 57. Always bet on black.
Always bet on black.
How dare you, Dan? How
Always
dare
bet
you?
on black.
How dare you?
All right. So what are we at now?
We're on catcher. We're on catcher.
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer.
This is no brainer. I think everyone's going to go this one.
It's Cal Raleigh. Raleigh is having one of the greatest offensive seasons for a catcher ever. He's on pace for 57 home runs, which would be the first time any catcher in Major League history has ever hit more than 50. Even if he fails to hit 50 and he gets to 40, he would only be the 9th catcher in baseball history to do so. He's definitely the catcher for the American League All-Stars.
Dude is at 24 home runs. He is leading the league in home runs right now.
Yeah, there's no denying it. He's my choice too.
Starting pitcher. Dan, who you got?
Just like Paul Skeens, who is the best National League pitcher. The best American League pitcher is Tarek School. Dude is pitching with an ERA of 2.26. His walks to hits per inning is a staggering 0.79 right now. Yeah.
What does whip mean? That means that he is allowing less than one batter on base per inning. Fewer base runners mean fewer opportunities for the opposing team to score, and only 6 other pitchers in all of baseball history have ever finished a season with a whip below 0.8. That's how ridiculous he is right now. So he's my vote for starting pitcher as well.
Interesting.
Ryan, what say you?
Fans, in terms of voting now, where are we at now, Spear? In terms of the over/under, we're at 3.
Well, we're at 3 because we took away Judge because he was not automatic.
Judge. All right, so I lose this if I choose who I choose. Right?
Give me the money. Give me the money. Give me the money and give me Max Fried.
Give us the money. We know what you're going to do. Just do it. Just do it.
Okay, you ready? Damn it.
Just give it to me, baby.
Yeah, just do it.
Give it to me.
Max Fried is my choice.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Max Fried
I'm
is my
surprised by
choice
that.
for starting pitching for the American League. Yes, he's a Yankee. Yes, I'm flying in the face of Scooble, but I've still won this bet.
Mm.
Ask me why I've won this bet.
Why have you won this bet?
win?
Because no Major League Baseball fans have any direct votes for pitchers for the All-Star game, boys. They do not have a say. Therefore, I win. You lose.
Fool.
You get nothing.
Nuh-uh. This was
you
our
lose.
ballot. No,
I say good day, sir.
No.
Good day,
Sorry.
sir.
This was our game, and we were picking these people, and you picked not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Yankees, plus an honorary Yankee in Gleyber Torres. Okay, so I don't care. We win. You lose. 'Twas ever thus.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, but look, you can't deny that Max Fried's got a case.
He does. I mean, like,
you cannot deny it.
He got his first loss. Well, he was 7-0, and then he got his first loss when he had
against
a bad
the Dodgers. He just got roughed up by the Dodgers. Hey, listen, tip your cap to the Dodgers, right? I mean, that is an insanely good lineup. It happens. It absolutely happens. So we'll see what he does the rest of the season. But shots fired from the National League.
I mean, you can't say anything about Max Fried. You couldn't have gone wrong with either Scooble or Max Fried. But there was no doubt in my mind that he was going Max Fried, which was why I was saying, let's do this little over-under thing, because I knew where that was going. That was easy. That was easy money, Brian. Easy money.
What money? You don't win any money. I told you, right? I told you. Want to talk about technicalities? Fine, but clearly you don't win. 3.
Well, then fine. Then I'm putting Judge back on the list. I'm putting Judge back on the list, and now I win again.
No, you don't win anything. You don't win anything. You can't take that back.
Well, yes, I can. Make up the rules.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lloyd.
That's right.
All right, let's close it up with the closer. Dan, who do you got for American League closer?
There are some that are deserving, but I'd have to go with Josh Hader. He had a down year last year. He had, what was it, like a 3.4 ERA. Right now, he is raking for the Houston Astros. He has a 1.38 ERA with 16 saves. He is 16 for 16 in save opportunities. Also has a whip of 0.73 and a batting average of 144 against him.
Interesting. I went a little different route, and I went with Andres Munoz. I say that right?
Yep.
All right. My Spanish is getting better. Muy excelente. He's very good at baseball, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Did you use the accent correctly? I just want to make sure.
Was the accent? Did. Yeah. I said Munoz, right?
Okay.
Munoz.
I said Munoz.
There you go.
He's muy bien, because the guy has a 140 ERA, so just right there with Hader. His whip's a little higher, but he has one more save. He's got 17 on the year.
See, the reason why I picked Hader, he is 16 for 16, where Munoz is 17 for out of 21.
Yeah, but I also hate Houston. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't want to give any love to those trash can banging pieces of basura.
I likewise had Andres Munoz, so I'm going to change it up.
I like your accent.
Please say Devin Williams. Please say Devin Williams. Please say Devin Williams to be a jerk.
And I'm going to say Devin Williams. I'm going to say Devin Williams.
He's God.
The Airbender is back as the Yankees closer, and it says here that he goes on a tear in the month of June leading up to the All-Star game. It says here he's going to be the closer for the American League because, and this is important, he finally does get that apology by Pete the Polar Bear Alonso.
Does he get the apology earlier in the month, or does he get it at the All-Star game?
He needs to get it earlier because he's not going to make the All-Star game if he doesn't get that apology.
Yeah, of course. He's going to get that apology early in the month. I'm sure it's already in the mail.
All right.
And
once he gets it, so once he gets it earlier in the month and he makes the team, then I need to see the two gentlemen embrace at the All-Star game.
Big hug right there on the mound.
Big bear hug right there. Doesn't even have to be on the mound, man. Could be, right by home plate. I think that's what baseball needs. Baseball needs to heal. Okay.
Devin Williams needs to heal. Forget about baseball.
Damn right. God, please. It's going to be a long month. It's gonna be a long summer. Luke Weaver's out for like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, good luck. The airbender is back. The airbender is back. He's bending air. All right, we did this last time. Who do we think is the worst all-star ever to grace the field for the American League?
There's a lot of undeserving. Right now, I mean, like I can go back to the 40s and the 50s because the thing is, they had to have representation from every team. But I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to stay new age. I wanted to say in the past 30 years. I'm going to have a call out to Pickles Pub with my choice. My choice is Ty Wingington, third baseman for the Baltimore Orioles for 2010.
That guy gets an all-star nod just because he's got a great name.
At least he has a good name, but I just don't think that he was deserving to be in the All-Stars. Now, if you know Ty Wigginton, he did play for about a decade. He played 12 seasons, jumped around from the Mets to Pittsburgh to Baltimore to Colorado. He even had a stint in Philly one year. But he had one All-Star game, and that was in 2010 with the Baltimore Orioles. Due to his batting, he finished with a 248 batting average. He had a decent amount of home runs. He had 22 home runs, but was Ty Wigginton an all-star caliber player? No.
No,
He's just,
no, he was
run of
not.
the mill, like just a regular guy, just a regular player. He's not an all-star. It was his first and only all-star game.
Some of this happens because teams need to be represented, right? So they always send a guy who maybe shouldn't be there, but they have to send a guy to represent the team, so off they go. I'll give you two guys that weren't their lone representative, yet made it anyway, despite the fact that they went into their all-star break without having hit a home run. And that would be Scott Pasednik and Elvis Andrus.
Wow.
Neither one of those
choices.
guys had hit a home run. And they're the only two all-stars in the last 20-something years to go into the all-star break, make the all-star team, and not have hit a single home run. And they were not the only representation from their team.
What team was this? What year was this?
Scott Pasednik went with the 2005 White Sox. And at the time, the White Sox had 4 other members represent them in the All-Star team.
That's pretty interesting.
Elvis Andrus went with the 2010 Rangers, and they had 5 others. In fact, they ended up with 6 because Cliff Lee was traded to the Rangers right before the All-Star rosters were announced. But these are two guys who had other representation for some strange reason, ended up on the American League All-Star team.
And
with
it's really interesting.
0 home runs. 0 home runs.
And what's really interesting about those statistics and those years, Spirit, the teams that you're just talking about, both of those teams represented the American League in the Fall Classic that year. The White Sox, who we all know won in 2005, and the Rangers lost in 2010 to the San Francisco Giants. Really interesting.
Well, it gives a little bit of credence to the voters voting for the teams that are doing well. And Pasednik and Elvis Andrus were both, I don't want to say household names, but they were known stars. So it was easier for people to check them off on the ballot box, absent any other knowledge of anybody else who was playing at that point. But they were all stars that year, or those years.
Gotcha. So my pick is very controversial for a variety of reasons. One, this gentleman played certain days with the New York Yankees. 2, he tried to assassinate the Queen of England.
I must
3,
kill the Queen.
His name is Reginald Jackson. And this happened in 1983. So if anything, this was a bone that was thrown to an aging Hall of Famer, would-be Hall of Famer. The fact that he was definitely on the downside of his career. He was batting just 214 before the break. A lot of folks think he made the team because of A, his popularity, but B, the fact that the prior season he hit close to 40 home runs. He hit 39 home runs the year before. So that could have added to the lore there. But this is a guy who finished the 83 season batting just 194 with 14 home runs and 49 RBIs. But yet he was still chosen to represent the California Angels of that time as a representative for the All-Star break. So a lot of things went right for Reggie that year, I guess, making the All-Star team. But a lot of that was due to heavy hypnosis and the idea that he must kill the Queen. And if it wasn't for Enrico Palazzo thwarting that would-be assassination, where would we be? So thank you, Enrico. Thank you very much for your service and your kindness to this world.
So for any of our listeners who believe that Reggie Jackson was part of a plot to kill the Queen of England, let's just underline the fact that that's a plot point from The Naked Gun, which is a movie starring Leslie Nielsen. It is very funny, and you should see it. Because if you're wondering at all whether or not Reggie Jackson tried to kill the Queen of England, if you're Googling Reggie Jackson murder Queen of England, just want to make sure you know that's a plot to a movie. It's a really good one.
I'm so glad you said that, Spear, because there are so many Gen Zs out there. They're like, really? Trying to kill the Queen?
So, interestingly enough, Dan and I agree on pretty much everything here, except for maybe DH.
We're lockstep. I mean,
we're in lockstep again.
We know our shit, other than the guy in the American League
who just voted for all Yankees.
Yes.
No, I didn't. I totally won this bet with 3. I don't. You're complaining about.
You had 5 Yankees, dude. So settle down over there.
You're out of your mind.
5.5.
Settle down. 5 Yankees. Settle down. There are our votes for our American League ballot. Dan and I know what we're talking about, and Brian is a homer, and 'twas ever thus. He's shaking his head. He doesn't even want to address it. He's just shaking his head.
I shouldn't, because listen, you're going to edit this the way you're going to want to edit this. So fine, enjoy yourself. But
I'm not going to edit anything. You know what? One of these days, I'm just going to let it rip. Okay,
completely uncut.
With all the uncut, the and then the 10-minute block of hold on, I gotta change my mind because I didn't know what I was talking about, and so I'm just
hey, you leave Dan alone.
I'm gonna leave that whole thing in there, okay? Hold on, Spear, you'll have to go back. You're gonna have to edit this. Sorry, Spear. I'm gonna leave that whole thing in there. It's gonna be it's gonna be amazing.
What power you weave, sir?
That dead air of about a minute or two, picking
nothing but space. Nothing
picking Julio Rodriguez.
If that's the stuff they took out, the stuff they left in must be pure gold.
Do not fuck with me, okay? I have.
You said a curse word. This isn't safe for children.
I beeped out Dan last week.
That was a very good beep. I got to say,
I beeped it out.
Carlos Rodon is beep.
I got the shh, and then the beep. I saved the beep. I don't even know where the hell I was with this.
Something about you know what you're talking about, and I don't. And you and Dan go out on dates on Friday nights, and he opens the car door for you. And that's
he is a wonderful partner, and we're lucky to have each other. Okay. Oh my God. All right. So if
Spear is just thinking of all the sweet lovins me and him have.
That's right.
He's like all over.
He's flustered. He's absolutely flustered.
I'm thinking about our next date down. I'm thinking about our next date now. I have no idea where to go.
Yeah.
He's thinking about that clam bake down the shore there, little hammer. Oh boy, I hope you bring out that picnic basket.
I don't know where else to go. Oh God. God help me. I'm going to have to edit this whole thing out. Oh God. Yeah. You can check out every episode of the 3 Tool Players podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or on the YouTubes, or wherever fine podcasts are sold. And you can follow us on the X at 3 Tool Pod and on TikTok at 3 Tool Players. For both Brian and Dan Hammer, I'm Chris Spear, and we thank you for listening to this episode of 3 Tool Players.